Hey, what's going on, team? I'm shorting the NASDAQ as the stock market is selling off, and I wanted to show you kind of like a closer look of what it looks like. So I traded live, and I started the live trading session with my Learn Plan Profit team today. I trade live with them every morning. If you want to learn more about that, so you can watch me trade live. It's the second link in the description. But started the morning off kind of like I always normally do. So we pay attention to the pre-market session, pre-market activity. I was looking at the NASDAQ market, lower lows, lower highs were forming. Pretty much all that means is that there's selling pressure. It's a downward pattern. When there's a downward pattern, especially after, the bullish week that QQQ or the NASDAQ market has had, there's a lot of downside potential. So I took a short position by going into SQQQ, which is a NASDAQ short ETF. It's triple leverage. So for every 1%, the NASDAQ market sells off. You can see 1.2%. It does 3 times that, so 3.84%. Overall, the selling pressure continued not only during the pre-market, but even into market open. It was a very fun live trading session. Not only were we getting rejected by the moving average, which is great, right? But we're even getting rejected by that EMA line. So by the EMA line acting as a resistance, you know that the selling pressure is very high. So lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, just a strong descending pattern. It began to consolidate within this general area. We reduced our position size. There's a change of direction. And then I just announced it actually on my Instagram and with my LPP team. We talked about the resistance that there was at the moving average. Again, the same thing that we saw during that pre-market session. So people thought that this was going to be the reversal. Again, direction is super important. Indicators are just to be used as a reference, never as a sole reason on why to take a trade. If anything, again, the thing that has more weight, in my opinion, is previous direction, and that's all the selling pressure that we were experiencing, right? So we got rejected by that EMA line, by that moving average. We got rejected. We made lower lows, lower highs. I added more to my SQQQ position, and right now this is kind of like the little pickle that I'm in right now. Deciding if I should just lock in profits on my short or continue to hold what I have in the open. So there was a resistance that we saw during that pre-market session right around 45.30. We're struggling to break above that. So it looks like we're testing the moving average once again. And we hit highs of 45.39, and now we got rejected once again. So this is not the best sign for SQQQ. And the reason why is because at this point it's showing signs of lower highs, which is not a good sign. It could mean that this could be the peak, right? And if that's the peak, then why am I still in an open position, right? I'm never going to be a perfect trader. My entries, my exits are never going to be perfect. So instead of always trying to sell at the overall top and buy at the overall bottom, I need to be okay with it just being good, right? So I can exit at a good price point and then just wait for the next opportunity. But as of right now, why would I short something? And it's very simple. We're trading below the moving average. We're trading below the EMA line. It's very easy to see the lower highs and lower lows. It's the easiest way that I can put it. It's like this downward staircase pattern, right? So it's like a downward staircase. If you go down the stairs, it drops, it tries to go up, 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 it drops. So it's very easy to see that. And then we're continuing that by getting rejected by the moving average. And the more I see it getting rejected, the more valid that selling pressure will become. And at this point, it's kind of just the waiting game. So because I got in at such a good price point during that pre-market session, even if we do see a reversal here, I could have sold at a much better price point altogether. But remember, I'm not going to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect. We're never going to be perfect. So the goal is, I didn't buy at the lowest price point for SQQQ all the way down here, right? But I also didn't buy at the highest price point. So as long as I get in at a good price point and I get out at a decent price point, that's all that matters. That's all that should matter. And this is why I often do not trade by being able to see how much I'm up or down. I don't want that to influence of like, hey, I'm almost at, $10,000 or I'm almost at $15,000 on the day. I don't want how much I'm up or down to determine my ability to, sell a position if we see a change of direction. So if this thing does begin to make higher highs above the moving average, then, I will rightfully accept the change of direction. But a break above with one candle is not a change of direction. I also think that's a big misconception that a lot of people have is that, oh, wow, Ricky, look, we finally broke above EMA or above the moving average. It's time to sell your position. No, One break above doesn't mean anything, just like one break below doesn't mean anything. I want to see higher highs and higher lows above the moving average. If it shows healthy signs of an uptrend pattern, then I'll accept my change of direction. But if there's no momentum, if there's no demand when we begin to break above these moving averages, then at that point, it's just a nice little fake out. A lot of people get excited and then they get, dropped right back down. So that's kind of what I'm waiting out for. If we see a change of direction, I will accept whatever it is and however it is that I end up on the day. I might be up 5,000, I might be up 20,000, right? It's all dependent on my ability to just, when I accept that change of direction, to get out of that position. Or if we go according to my plan, that if we end up getting rejected, selling off here, that means that SQQQ would begin to make, higher highs here. Maybe I can lock in profits closer to, 45.60, 45.80 and stuff like that. So definitely something that I'm going to try to stay patient with. There's no reason for me to rush into it. One of the things that I always like to encourage our beginners is, if you're just getting into the market, we call this the blind trading challenge. So by covering how much you're up or down, it doesn't allow you to obsess about how much you're up or down, but allows you to focus so much more on, is direction in your favor? Are you adding because it makes sense and not just because you want to make more money? Are you selling because it makes sense, or just because you hit a specific milestone? Because remember, how much you're up or down, only you know what that is, or only you care about that. It has nothing to do with an actual trade opportunity. It has nothing to do with a resistance level or a potential reversal, right? It has nothing to do with that. So just remember, trade based off of what makes sense, not just based off of what you're up or down. It's irrelevant to the stock market. Your position is irrelevant to the stock market. Trade the actual opportunity, trade the actual stock, or trade the actual ETF. Don't focus on what it is that you're up or down, because it's insignificant if you actually think about it. So, and the smaller you keep your position size, the more collected I think that you can be, because you'll be able to control your emotions, a little bit better. And it's all about scaling. So you start very small. You can start with one share, or a couple of shares, right? You don't ever have to be fully invested in it. It's also a big misconception from beginner traders. They always think that I have $1,000 and I always need to buy with $1,000. It's like, no, right? Position size is very important, and learning how to keep your position size small during an uncertain time is even more crucial, right? It's all about building healthy habits. It doesn't matter if you actually turn a trade into the green. If you implemented really bad habits, at that point, you're just implementing bad habits. And as you begin to trade with more money, you're just going to lose more money. So if you focus on one thing, build healthy habits. That's all we could ever encourage you to do. So I did want to keep you guys up to date with what's going on this week. We did have a series of our largest day for economic reports. The big one during the pre-market session were retail sales and also the mortgage index. It came in higher than expected. That's not good. So remember, right now, bad news is good news and good news is bad news. So this shows that we're seeing more growth than expected, which is not good for both retail sales and the mortgage application index. So pretty much just, the amount of people that are applying for mortgages has gone up more than expected. And remember, the Federal Reserve wants the economy to feel the pressure. And if they see people spending more, if they see people wanting to buy houses, that means that, interest rates are still affordable and they're not feeling the pressure. So what will the Federal Reserve do? Only justify being more aggressive in the way that they raise interest rates. And that's why the market reacts the way that it does. It's not so much about the news, but it's how the Federal Reserve will see that news and then try to accommodate that, right? Because the goal for them is, we're currently at 7.7% inflation. We're trying to get to 2%. So we're far from that. But we'll see if we actually end up getting there. So again, I'm waiting for the reversal here. I'll keep you guys up to date on my Instagram, but friendly reminder, again, I trade live every single morning with our LPP team. If you want to be able to watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow, then click that second link down below. We're running a huge sale. It's $150 off. It's our biggest sale. And you can sign up, watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow, and you get access to me and to our A to Z video lesson library. So if you have any questions, send me a direct message via Discord, first link in the description, or send me a direct message via Instagram, and that's that third link down below. If you want to see how much I'm up, then feel free to follow me on Instagram, or if you're part of my LPP team, then I'll post my profits or whatever it is that I end up at by the end of the day. So like always, I hope that it earned your thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.